Okay, so I was filming the intro here. My mic isn't working for this video, so you just have to sit through me narrating what's going on. Okay, so here I was just filming an intro. This was before or after we played, because I forgot to film an intro before. Just getting distracted. And more getting distracted by Snoopy. And still being distracted. I believe this is here where I actually started talking, and my friend Beamer just sat there talking. Oh, here's where we started. So we originally had me, the person in the jersey, my friend Beamer, and then our friend Kylie. Kylie's phone ended up dying halfway through the playthrough because she never charges her phone. Here we were just learning. Oh, I had pointed out that it said cone instead of bread, even though we were playing sandwich shop. We were learning how to do the controls. So, this is me filling up the ingredients. You can read the text at the bottom. This was me messing with my friend Beamer because he had slipped on a banana peel at the beginning before I started recording. And him going to run at the banana peel and missing. So, you can see Kylie in the background, just at some point through a little bit. She just disappears, not a word to us, just gone. She was the only one really paying attention to the instructions, so me and Beamer had no idea what we were doing. The fingerprints part, we were told to wipe them off. We didn't read that, so we didn't know what was happening. We were just talking through it while Kylie was sitting there listening. So we didn't know about the fingerprints. That will come in handy later. Me and Beamer trying to compete to fill out the first order. Him getting it before me getting mad because I had to throw away the sandwich. Us just goofing around. Me thinking that the customer went behind the counter instead of staying in front of it. Beamer disappearing. Beamer saying that there was a face in the box, and then me telling him it was just the jump scare mask, which it was, and he tried to keep convincing us that it was a monster in a box. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with my sucky audio, even if it eventually doesn't ever show up. So, have fun with that, because I am just me, and I do all the editing, and I only have a phone, so. him telling Kylie that it was a monster in a box. Kylie telling him it was the jump scare mask. Me trying to figure out what the door was doing. Me trying to figure out if I had to listen to the message, which I didn't apparently. It was just there. I'm gonna let you guys watch the rest in silence until I decide I want to input. Thank you. Have fun. This here was me noticing that my picture was on the wall and me trying to figure out what it was for, because I thought everybody had their own picture up on the wall. It was just whoever had the most sandwiches done at that time. This was me just looking out the window and then pointing out that there was a child. A child going to a sandwich shop by itself and ordering a sandwich. So, I was highly disappointed in video game parents. And this was me just goofing off and spinning on top of it. And trying to right its head. Me here trying to figure out what the door was for and why it was meant to keep shut, because I knew it was going to have a significant part in the game and trying to stay alive. This here is where Beamer started screaming. Well, not really screaming. He was yelling like a lady about how there was a demon in the back alley. So I told him to stay put. I think this is where I realized Kylie was gone too. And then I was running. I go, peek around the corner. What is that? A demon. This is where Beamer started judging people for their orders and ordering onions. Like he had to say. This is where we started trying to figure out if he had grabbed the order or if we had just accidentally left it in the back alley. Even though I was trying to tell him that I had saw him pick it up. And I had also just pointed out that the floor glitched and stuff. Remember how I said the fingerprints would come in handy? This is why. You see the window? Handprints? I had to tell him, I think we're supposed to wipe it. And then I had to do most of it because he couldn't figure it out. So he eventually goes outside to see what's outside the window. Me telling him how the more handprints there are, the longer that the creature's been standing there. And how it's not going to go away until we clean off enough fingerprints. This here's where Beamer told me that he saw something in the bathroom. And there's nothing there. Okay, so about here is where we realized that something was going to be in the back alley. We didn't know what. We weren't expecting what we found. Staring at the wrong trash can. Just trying to figure out why I couldn't pick up the trash. Me accidentally clicking buttons. Beamer pointing out that there's a creature. Small child beside the trash can. Don't know if you can see it, but it just disappeared. Not what we were expecting. right here is where we found out that it was taking our Roblox friends and putting them in the game for us to serve. Because that is my friend's avatar. And I recognized it immediately because she's amazing. This was one of Beamer's friends, where we were joking about how half of our friends were like completely different styles. And earlier, without us being with only me paying attention, notice that if they say our names, we are not supposed to serve them. They are not here for a sandwich. They don't disclose the information. This is where he kept closing doors on me when I was trying to do stuff. That's me. They cloned my avatar, put a slightly different face on me, and then asked to serve me. And the mouth was apparently slightly different for a second, which is what Beamer said was supposed to be a bit creepy while I was fixing the sandwich and messing up. Right here is where I turned the corner, saw that cool avatar. Second I saw it go, holy Deku! This was me pretty much letting him do the sandwich because I did the sandwich, but the whole time I was, no, he did the sandwich, never mind. Sorry, I'm rewatching this, but the whole time I was, blowing smoke up his butt, saying that was such a cool avatar. That was his friend's avatar was amazing. It was an amazing Izuku Midoriya. Just blowing smoke up the butt. This is here where a car alarm started going off. I had accidentally screamed a little bit because it scared me. There's a whole bunch that just goes on in this section. It's Beamer. It's where the Beamer's line. This is where the demon started chasing us. I probably should have looked back because that would have looked cool, but didn't think about it at the time. Was just thinking about surviving. I ran straight to the back room thinking I'd be safe. And this was me pointing out that this was my friend, my friend's name, who is Jace. Pointing out how that was his avatar, us arguing about whose friend it was. And even though it's pretty sure he was both of our friends. Okay. Here's an important part where we should have been listening to instructions better and where we should have paid attention to our friends' avatars more, because that is not either of our friends. He said my name. I noticed and I said, no, I am not serving him. No, thank you. That is not my name. Or, that is my name. That was my name. That, that is my name. But he should not have known my name, so just close the door. Watching Beamer hide like a baby. Me deciding to watch him. Flashing lights, Beamer closing the door. This is where Beamer started going on a rant about how that was his friend's avatar of a friend from the UK. I wanted to question him on how he knew somebody from the UK, but didn't, which I wish I had, because that would have been such an amazing story. But we would have been there forever. So about here is where I started dying of laughter after seeing this avatar. Me saying how it was amazing and how I was just laughing so hard because I didn't know that you could do that. Me not looking because I didn't want to die of laughter more. That was such an amazing avatar, though. I didn't even know you could do that with, like, your avatars or anything. That was definitely one of my friends, or that was definitely one of Beamer's friends. 'Cause I don't have friends with avatars like that. This was him chasing after his friend, and then me waiting for the next customer, even though there was no next customer. This was us knowing there was, or me begging him to come with me because I knew there was going to be something there. I just didn't know what it was going to be, and I didn't want to go alone. Making him go first. Seeing the demon on top, wanting to go back, but then not. Us both getting scared. Me trying to guard his back while he did that. And then us both immediately running back to the shop. Because I was not about to deal with that. I was checking to make sure he was still alive. This was where I had pointed out that was Beamer. That's Beamer, the avatar. So there was two of them. The world can't even handle one. We didn't need two. We don't need to. At this point, I was kind of telling Beamer about how I was waiting for my cousin's avatar to pop up because it was amazing. It's an amazing avatar. It pops up the next night, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Me trying to figure out why he was just standing still like a statue. Or like he saw something, because we're in first person, so you have to look the way that your character's looking. him closing more doors on me. Quick heads up, this is kind of weird, ha ha ha. Sometimes the door in the kitchen will start opening slowly, like really slowly. That's normal. Well, not normal, but expected. If you hear it opening, run over and shut it as fast as you can, okay? You don't want it to open all the way. This was where I started bragging about how I called the door being part of something and how I wanted him to keep an eye on the door instead of just standing in a corner. This is my cousin's avatar. This was where I started laughing about how my cousin just popped up. And Beamer commenting how it was weird but cute at the same time, and how I was making fun of his order. And then me trying to follow him to get a better view of the avatar, because I've never seen his avatar in game before that. So I was laughing so hard. This was him saying that it was one of his friends, but I'm pretty sure it was one of both of our friends. Because I have a friend who looked exactly like that, but I'm pretty sure it's just a basic avatar, so. Me repeatedly checking the door to make sure it's not opening. Me checking the door again. Me standing by the door to make sure it's not open. Me telling him to stay by the door. Me telling him that it's one of his friends. Me telling him to keep the door open. Man, I may have just realized how bossy I actually am. Just because of this game. Oh, this was where I had said, Beamer, hey Beamer, come out. And him coming out and going, oh hey, it's Kylie. Because that was the friend that was playing with us before. She just up and left. Me trying to figure out, I hadn't noticed him sitting on top of the fridge because I wasn't paying attention, so I kind of just got spooked because I thought it was a demon. I had completely missed the other parts of the avatar that were creepy. I just pointed out that it was smiley face on the shirt. Looking back at this, I realized just how much I missed and how much I could have been paying attention. That was him spooking me by staying on top of the fridge again, because I forgot he was there again. Me waiting for him to come out with me so we could go together, because I knew there was going to be something there, and I didn't want to die alone. Me checking to see if he's also seeing a rolling cart. me saying how this is one of my friends that I know, or that we are both friends with from school. Not gonna say which school, because that's a very stupid idea. Oh, and then this is where I had told him to pick up the lettuce and the cheese. And then after I realized he wasn't gonna do it, I went and got the cheese myself. Told him to grab the lettuce. And he confirms with me that he's supposed to grab the lettuce. Goes back and grabs the cheese. So now he's stuck with a box of cheese instead of lettuce. Oh, yeah, we heard the door open, so we ran to shut it. Okay, right here is where I started going off about how, oh, hey, that's, or where he started going on about how that's my boyfriend. And me going, wait, he changed his avatar? And him saying, yeah. And then me going on a whole spiel about how sweet my boyfriend is and how, like, just how much I love him. And then Beamer replying with sarcasm and going, yeah, we know. It was funny. This is where I kept going on about how much I love him and how much I actually care about him and how much I just love him. This was neither of our friends, so we both got a bit weirded out because we knew our friends. Here's where we heard the faucets turn on. We go in. Neither of us realize what the sinks are filling up with. So I turn off that sink. I realize that the other sink is on, so we both go and turn it off. And I go, oh, that was filling up with blood and human guts. And then me pointing out how that's mine and Beamer's friend. I'm not gonna disclose names as much as possible. Me talking about how cute she is. Me just waiting for the next customer. Even though I didn't realize there wasn't gonna be a next one. Us going home. Me closing the doors. Me watching Beamer get grabbed and then just seeing everything fade out. So we were both scared. Spooked. Wake up in a room, and he's saying how get him out, and like asking if I'm seeing the same thing, which I was, because clearly we were both trapped in a room. And then me getting extremely mad about it being a to be continued and a part 2, and how we need to like find the part 2 and play it because that was a pretty good game. And then Beamer going off about how he wasn't scared enough. This is where I had gone to film my outro, not knowing that my mic was not working. The whole time, both me and Beamer were talking to the camera. We thought my mic was working, which it wasn't. I just don't think it works when I'm on calls with people. So, you gotta figure that out. Him being lost. Now I'm gonna film an actual outro without the, me telling him to scoot closer. Not that close. So now I'm gonna film an actual outro now that I know my microphone is working. Okay, so, thank you guys if you did sit through the video. Thank you for sitting through the video. Like if you want, if you liked it, or comment. I love comments, love reacting to your guys' comments, love just like seeing them. Bye.